Hello, today I'd like to present you this air-layered elm. It's now in its spot for a week or two, and I will show you a picture of the roots we have after the air layering. That took place a year ago. So I just planted the tree in the spot with good soil now. I taped it in so the tree stays in position, but I don't have to touch the roots. This is a quick 360. I'm not really sure where the front of this tree is going to be, but I'm thinking something like this. So probably I will have to remove this whole section, but it does not matter at this moment. This is only the beginning. So that was some time ago. The tree has been doing quite well since I planted it in a shallow pot to spread the roots in autumn, but now it is time to have a closer look at the roots and do whatever is necessary to give this tree a good start. So I'm just going to loosen the soil around the edges to get the tree out easily. Which shouldn't be a big problem because he was only in the spot for a few months. So let's comb the roots now. And as you see, some of these are crossing, and of course that's what you don't want. So here you see where the tree was cut off. This is an Ulmus procera, a European variety of the elm. I like it much more than the Chinese one, because when it's freezing, the Chinese elm is a little, well, how should one say, delicate. And this one's been standing outside for a whole year. So let's give it a wash now. The nice things with air layers is that you have a lot of possibilities to choose a front, because you don't have to worry too much about the root flare, because, well, that's okay. But you will surely have to untangle all these roots to be sure that you're getting the best possible root spread. And you will have to select some roots. For example, I'm not too sure about this part. I have 1, 2, 3 good roots here, and then this is a very good root, but it's a little above the others. So maybe it's better to get rid of it now. So that these roots are nicely here. Here I'm lacking a root, so maybe I could give a little incision here. Like so. And this could help the tree with growing roots at this location. Here I have already a few little roots, so maybe just one incision. So let's check these roots. This is a little one growing on top. Here are a few roots under, so I'm going to cut these back because I prefer that the tree works with the roots above. And here's a root and here's a root right under it, so the root right under it, well, I'm going to get rid of it. It's not easy to access, but I think I got it. It's this one. Okay, so well, I got rid of quite a lot of roots already, and now I'm going to give it a equal trim. It's a perfect time to do it. As you can see, the buds are swelling here. You see the leaves are coming out. So okay, let's prepare the pot. I was having a final look at the roots and I noticed that it might be interesting to cut away the stump remaining of the ancient branch, which will of course gain a few millimeters in the pot. And if you see, I'm accessing the living tissue here, which may be interesting because this way the tree is probably going to close itself and maybe produce some more roots, which is always good. And if you have plenty of roots, well, you can select them like you select branches. This is a luxury problem. So one final bite at the center. Okay, so now the pot. It's the same pot I'm going to put it in. You see, it's very shallow. I cleaned it up a little. Going to add some lava rock now. So strangely, when I was doing my last video, I said that I would not talk too much about soil mixes, but then I got a few questions about it, so maybe a little explanation. So this is lava rock, thick one, and this is a small one. So they all come in the same bag. Then I sift them and I got the small particles and I got the big particles. So the big particles I'm just using to give a ground layer, and then the small particles I mix them 3 parts of this and 1 part of turfus, which gives me this mixture with some organic material in it, which retains water and gives some nutrition and softens it all a little bit, which would seem a good thing to do for deciduous trees. So this is the first layer. I'm going to put the tree in the pot and then fill up with this, and to finish it all I'm going just to put a little bit of this fine material on top. So the pot is now prepared, and now we will have to find a nice front for this tree. As you see, because the root base is fairly flat, it will not be a big problem to get this quite stable in its pot. I like the pot. It's a little too big for this tree, but of course, as you see, this tree has no branches whatsoever, but we're working on it. So regarding the root base, I think that every side is perfectly acceptable. So we have to consider the other features of the tree, the trunk line. So if I look at this from this side, it's quite straight, it's not very interesting. So the best side would be this side, when I have a little curve, or of course the other side. Now this pot is an oval pot, so if I put it like this, well, I can always have a look at both sides and see what side is developing best, and see in the future what will be the side that I choose in the end. There's little shoots everywhere, little buds emerging from spots where there was nothing. So, well, I'm quite confident that this is not going to be a big problem. So let's just put this tree in the center of the pot and add a little soil. And push the roots a little down. So I'm not going to lean this tree to the viewer, because I don't know where the viewer is gonna be, because it could very well be the other side. So let's keep it just straight for the time being, but still make sure that the roots are well spreaded. So this could take a few minutes to be sure that all the roots are nicely spreaded. So I'll see you when the tree is in its pot. I think this will do nicely. So I'm just going to cover this whole thing up with soil now. Making sure that there is some weight on the strategic points. Okay. So let's get a little more wild now. Sure, this is going to be enough. And just working the soil in. Working the soil in is very important. As you see, I'm always tapping the same spot here. And look how deep this hole is becoming. So you see, there are really air pockets everywhere, so I'm never showing too much of it on a video, because, well, there's nothing interesting to look at, but it's really something you must do. You must eliminate air pockets and make sure that the tree is well stable in the pot. So that's all the ground, all the mix I need. So I'm going to get rid of the top layer now. Just using a paintbrush for that. There's no need to buy something very special to do this. Okay. Just making sure that I'm removing some part of the soil from the lip of the pot. So this is a piece of moss, just a little piece of moss, which I'm going to insert quite deeply, just using tweezers, little spots, not on a regular base, but just a little bit here and everywhere. Some more here, some less there, you know, just that it looks a little random. And a little one here to stop it. So put it in deeply. So the moss will root very easily this way. You can always add some more if you want. So we already have 2 layers of soil now. The thick lava at the bottom and then the mix with the turfus. And now just adding a little fine, which is covering the moss, of course, but within a few weeks the moss will stick through it. And now making sure that I can see the roots, because that's what I want to see. So working from inside out. You see some of the root of the moss is visible here. Okay, now good watering. So this concludes the work for today, and the sun is here for the final 360 of this tree, which is extremely nice. So we have a quite nice root base to start with. It will develop and become bigger and more impressive, but it will be a well spread root base. 2 possible fronts regarding the trunk line. This could be one and this could be the other one. I still don't know yet, but at this point it does not really matter. Now the tree must grow and develop its roots and develops lots of foliage, and we'll just cut back roughly and let most of the branches grow to be sure that we have a luxury problem and can do the best selection later. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.